Hello and welcome to Respect the Crait. I'm your host and game master, Ian Duncan, and I'm joined here by some really great friends of mine, and maybe they're great friends of yours as well. Firstly, the droid from the void, Jamie Lee-Bonés.
I love that, droid from the void. Hello, I'm Jamie Lee-Bonés. I play Elo, the modified medical droid.
And pumping himself up with music, with lyrics, palms are sweaty, mom's spaghetti, it's Alex Herrera.
Hi, I'm Alex. I play Beegax, Botano, the Doug Slicer, and I wasn't making lyrics. I was actually singing our intro music that I was just humming to myself. So when you're listening to the audio track, you're going to hear me singing it.
Oh, nice.
Or your introduction of Jamie.
Great, excellent. Maybe I'll just layer that underneath, so that's what we actually
please,
hear as we come into the episode. It'll be an extra special treat.
Oh God.
Acapella version. Singing the theme song works great with beautiful acoustics, and there's no better acoustics than underneath the planet of Socorro, which is where we find the two of you. So, let's just jump right in. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Episode 24, Tension in the Tunnels. Back on Socorro, the fringers Beegax and Elo have struck a deal with the off-world gangster Zalto the Hutt. In exchange for faking the Hutt's death, giving him an excuse to go to war with the local Socorran crime lords, Elo and Beegax have been given access to secret underground tunnels running from the Hutt Casino under the walled city of Cjallysce'i. Once again traversing below the surface of the planet, our fringers tread cautiously into the darkest depths in hopes of finding Elo's elusive Bothan beneficiary.
First of all,
Yes, I know.
let's do the destiny roll.
Okay.
Woo!
Wow! Oh, cool.
What we got?
I have received 2 light side points.
Two!
What?
Really? 2 light side points?
I will screen cap this if I need to.
I also rolled 1 light side point.
Oh my God.
And
Branson, 1 dark light.
oh my god, you're never gonna. Okay, so this is wild. I don't know if this makes it on the air, but just as we were recording this, my brother texted me, and I hadn't put out a Twitter poll or anything to poll the wills of the Force at Respect the Crait like I usually do. So I just Jamie and Alex were like, text your brother. So I just asked hey, light side or dark side, and it came out light side.
Oh my God, Bran, you save us!
We've never had so many light side points.
Whoa!
And never will again.
It's probably, yeah, this is a one-time thing. I don't even think I have enough things for that. I have to use, because I only have 5 little tokens, I'm going to have to use this pizza from the Ninja Turtles board game to represent light side.
The most epic episode is about to happen.
Wow, okay, so that is 6 light side points. I don't think we've ever seen that. I don't think we've ever had that.
No.
It's going to be crazy.
And what better time to have it than before we go live to the triumvirate?
We see darkness, and slowly that darkness becomes gray, and we start to see details sort of break out from it. Rock, wall, and sand, bits of debris coming down off of the ceilings and getting backlit by these headlights that are moving towards us. And as they shine brighter and brighter and move onto us, illuminating more and more of this tunnel that seems to be underground and big enough to have a vehicle drive through it, this truck begins to drive over our view. And as it does so, our view flips upside down, and we see it moving upside down as if it is now driving upon the ceiling. It is not, however. It is just a trick of the camera. And the people, the beings that are inside of it are rattling around along the bumpy ground. Firstly is a droid. And Jamie, why don't you give us a description of Elo a little bit and maybe what they're thinking in this moment?
I sort of picture as they're going through this cavernous darkness that Elo's eyes are like beaming onto the walled surfaces of this cave, and just sort of like peering back and forth across the rocks, like flashlights almost. And there's a lot to be thinking about. Jamie is thinking about how are we going to make it look like a Hutt has died. And I think Elo is probably thinking of that too, but like jumping back and forth between thoughts of, okay, we have to handle that when we get to Cjallysce'i. Where are we going? You know, what is the next step here? Have we heard anything about the contact that we're looking for here?
You have, well, the information that you've gotten from Placebo, the Rhodian who you've met a couple of times and who sort of like works for Zalto the Hutt. Placebo has given you this information. There is a Bothan that seems to be residing in Cjallysce'i. The name of the Bothan is Snowball.
Yeah, I remember Snowball.
Which isn't the name of the person you're looking for, but is quite telling. And very unique, yeah. And with that information, you do have an address of where that person lives. So you do have a location of where you could go, basically.
Okay, then I think I would want to know how much further. So Elo's going to look over to Beegax and ask him, how much further until we reach the city?
Elo, the droid, turns over into the next seat, and there is a surly-looking Doug. And Alex, please give us a short description of what Beegax looks like and how they respond.
Beegax is a little like a darker gray-skinned Doug, so probably a shade darker than Sebulba from the movies. He's got the beads, probably like a half a dozen from the hairs and the whiskers on his fucking lower jaw, lower snout. He is wearing the semi-regal looking clothes, which he's turned into the Doug clothes, where they just kind of hang loose on the bottom a little bit, a little extra cloth, but he's also wearing a very tightly fitting catch vest on top of that. So it's that vest with the sections that are, I assume, meant to protect from projectile fire. He's got one of his slicer gloves on, and the other one's just a bare hand as he's driving this. We're like in an open bed truck, right?
Pretty much, yeah. It's like a kind of a wide industrial land speeder.
Okay, cool. So it's no tires. It's a hover vehicle. It's a speeder.
I think.
Or do we have tires on this thing?
I mean, it can be either or, but I think that we, like, some of the vehicles that we've sort of like brought into the world did have like tank tread on it. Yeah. And that makes sense to me. Like this doesn't have repulsion, and it has more like tank tread.
Okay, sure. So he's driving this vehicle. I assume the front cabin or whatever's got like 2 seats. There's no top. It's like an open, exposed kind of transport vehicle for the tunnels. He's gonna look back to Elo just over his shoulder and he's gonna say, not sure. I mean, you know, you kind of go through one tunnel, they all look the same, I guess. And then he'll kind of return back to looking at the front, and then he'll remember how upset Verse was, and he'll hopefully turn to I assume Verse is in the back of the truck with Elo and Barney. So he'll kind of look in the back at Verse to see their expression, if they're like glaring at him or something.
Verse is a dark-skinned human woman, very short hair. She's wearing sort of like leather clothes and has a rifle sitting next to her or very near. And she is burning a hole through Beegax's head as he turns back to her. And she just sort of like runs her tongue along her teeth and says, "What was all that about back there? With Zalto, huh? Helping Zalto? The Hutt? You're not really doing that, are you?"
Well, I mean, lesser of two evils in this case is the Hutt, who's, once you're done with him, you're basically free to roam the galaxy. This triumvirate, I don't really know what they're capable of, but I know that they're standing in our way. Standing in the Elo's way, and that's technically in my way. Plus, we gotta get out of here. Helping the Hutt ensures we get off this planet. Helping the Triumvirate ensures that they look to us for more favors. Hutts, they have a tendency to not rely too much on individual freelancers. They like to have a collection of them. If they want to ask me for favors, he can call me in the future. Doesn't mean I'm going to pick up.
I don't understand. If you want to leave, then just leave.
Nah, I'd rather not leave with two tails on me. I got business I gotta take care of the minute I get out of here as well.
If you help the Hutt, he's gonna call down an army onto Socorro from Nar Shaddaa. There's gonna be a bloodbath. And you know who's gonna be stuck in the middle of that? Between the Hutts and the Triumvirate? Us. Me. The people that have to live here.
Did not think about that.
She reaches over and pushes a button and shuts the hover vehicle down, and it just slowly comes to a stop.
I thought we had treads.
Yeah, the tread, sorry. Yeah. Did I say hover?
Yeah.
Fuck. Thank you.
I got excited.
Yeah.
I was like, he was a hover vehicle.
They're hover treads, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
Treads.
Totally.
Oh my god, they are hover treads. They have to be hover treads. Yeah, but the vehicle slows to a stop, and she says, "This is my home. This is Creed's home."
Well, I'm banking on a few things. One, Hutts love money.
Right. And he'll tilt his head, looking over.
Yeah, what's your point?
Wars are bad for money on both sides. My plan is to expose the Triumvirate to the point where perhaps they don't have to go to war. The Hutt realizes that they really want him dead. Zalto seems a little more subtle than most of the Hutts I've seen growing up. I don't think he's gonna risk his new business with blood. More blood than he already has.
And he'll mimic somebody falling with his hands.
I think he'll have a more subtle approach to exposing or expunging his enemies in this case. It doesn't matter to me, honestly, what happens to Socorro.
And he's gonna really look at her this time.
Because I made a promise to help someone who saved my life. Literally my life. As I bled out in the dirty streets of Bothan. They could have left me there for dead. But they didn't. And I don't know if that's programming or personality anymore because...
He looks back at Elo.
Because they're full of surprises, but I know that you help out a friend when they're in need, and Elo is the closest thing I have right now to a friend that I haven't pushed away. So, you'll excuse me if I really don't care for the planet of Socorro, and that I am trying my best when making these plans. Now, if you don't mind.
And he's gonna hit the button again and start the vehicle.
The vehicle picks back up and begins to continue to move. Verse I imagine Beegax turns back around and continue head forward, looking where they're going. Verse looks over to Elo and says, "And that's what you think too, Doc? What about first do no harm, huh? Isn't that against some of your programming or something? People will die."
I think Elo is gonna first sort of look over when Beegax starts talking about how he feels about the friendship that they share, and then we'll sort of turn over to Verse. What other options did we have? We're trying to make as least amount of casualties as possible.
She shakes her head and she's like, I don't know. I don't know, okay?
Elo's going to sort of grab Barney and attach him onto their shoulder while saying, and as for the dying, people die every day. Have you not killed before? Did they not have families and their own planets?
I've done what I've had to do to stay alive, but I haven't just served an entire planet up to a bunch of murderous criminals. Look, the Hutts are not good for Socorro. I don't know why you trust Zalto to be subtle. Do you know what they're doing on Ryloth? They're just taking people. After the war, they're just kidnapping people and turning them into slaves and selling them across the galaxy. That's exactly what they'll do here. Just kidnap people off the street. As soon as they're done beating the hell out of the Triumvirate and killing everyone, then they'll just take who they want and sell them. The Hutts are not good. And I know the Triumvirate's not good for Socorro either, okay? The Triumvirate likes the status quo. That's what works for them. Everyone under them, nobody says anything different, and they're fine. The Hutts just want to stir things up so that it benefits them. And whoever comes out, they're just going to cut a deal with the Empire anyway. I'm sure you've noticed they're here.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget that.
And then Beegax turns off the engine again. And this time he climbs out of the front seat and walks into the back.
Alright, Verse. I'm only gonna say this once. You have 3 choices here. All of them end with people dying. One of them ends with a lot of people dying.
He puts up his dug hand.
First, the Triumvirate. Sure, status quo seems great, but the minute they cut a deal with the Empire, guess what? Socorro becomes a new Ryloth. The disenfranchised, the downtrodden, they'll get picked up, or worse, sent to re-education camps for the Empire. That sounds like a bad ending to me. Number 2, the Hutt. Yeah, Zalto's pretty eccentric. He'll cut a deal with the Empire. But who's a better negotiator? A Hutt or an Imperial officer? My money's on the Hutt. I don't see a lot of bloodshed in this one. I do see the casino bringing out the worst in people. The third option. We get rid of them both, and the Empire call this a new resource hub. Everybody's enslaved in some way. Everybody's working to stop those small groups called rebels or whatever they're called. And everyone's criffin' unhappy. Take your pick, because I already know which one I'm building towards. And honestly,
And he throws his hands up in the air at this point.
I don't give a criff about what happens to Socorro. I'm sorry. I have a job to do for my friend and for somebody else out there.
And he points upwards.
I made a promise, and I've already broken it a few times or delayed it. I have people that are waiting for me too. And if you think I'm gonna place Socorro on a pedestal, you're criffin' wrong. But I am gonna do my damnedest to make sure that I at least leave it in some form of alive or capable hands.
And he's gonna touch her on the shoulder with his big, nasty finger.
Unless you think you want to take action and join the political theater, then be my guest. But right now, I have something to do. And if you don't want to do it, you're more than welcome to hop off this truck and walk your ass back.
She bristles when you poke her. She steps out of the truck. I've got a 4th option. What's to stop me from telling the Triumvirate what you've got planned?
Beegax is going to tilt his head like a dog would. What? And he's gonna look to Elo for a second.
This isn't gonna end well.
She you can see her put her hand on the rifle, bringing it into her hands a little bit. And Beegax, what is your vigilance?
My vigilance is 2 greens.
2 greens. Okay, you see her grab the rifle and she says, "This could end a lot of ways, but I can't let you put Socorro in danger. You've got people you're accounted for. I've got people here as well."
He takes a deep breath in. There's large Doug's snout and exhales.
You know, I always thought you were smarter than myself. I guess I've never been proven more wrong.
And I'm gonna flip a light side point, and I'm gonna shoot her blaster or her rifle out of her hand with my pistol.
Oh, okay, yes, got it.
Oh shit, this is escalating so quickly.
That's a good use of a light side point. All right.
Yeah.
So I just because that's gotta be a cool ass move. Describe to us what that looks like. You just quick drawing.
So she's off the truck. I envision her being on the back end of the truck, right? And she has enough distance between both of us that if she were to wield the rifle, she could do so effectively. Beegax, when he tilts his head and snouts breathes it out, he's gonna lower his body so that his extra 2 limbs, his legs, are kind of in an upwards position, like knees bent, and he's gonna have one hand kind of scratching one of his 4 limbs, scratching his beads, his beard. And then one of the legs is going to be reaching for the gun. And he's going to use one of his lower limbs to grab it and shoot.
That's so cool. That's kind of like the move you did way back in the beginning.
Yep, with the cup.
Yeah.
And it failed.
You fire this pistol, and it hits the rifle and knocks it out of her hand. It clatters into the dirt, and she looks down at it and looks up at you, just kind of mouth and eyes surprised, basically. And then from underneath the sand, twirling around your leg, Beegax, a tentacle pulls you down to the ground, and I need you all to roll initiative.
2 successes.
1 success, 1 advantage.
So we've got a PC slot, an NPC slot, and then verse goes at the end. And as always, you can always advise me on how you would like her to assist. So, first things first, as this is a surprise round, Beegax, you are pulled to the ground. Take 5 damage.
5!
Yes.
Wowie. Well, my silk is 4, so I take 1.
Nice. Excellent.
That is way better. Holy moly. Ravioli.
All right, and then we will go to the top of the round. Beegax, it is to you.
Or it could be Elo.
Or Elo, yes, sorry, it is.
What do you think, Jamie? Should I go or should you go for this one? Because I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's happening either. Is this tentacle creature coming from one direction?
It seems to be coming out from underneath the vehicle, and it is long and slithery and sort of sand and earthy colored. I would imagine Elo's view from inside the vehicle is, it looks like it's coming out from underneath here. You've sort of seen this shot happen. Boom, the rifle goes down, and then Beegax, boom, slams onto the ground, and there's a tentacle that's sort of wrapped around his leg.
I think Elo would want to, after seeing where Beegax went, because they were still in this truck, would hop out of the truck and sort of grab onto Beegax to try to pull him back from the grasp of this tentacle monster.
It is going to be a hard athletics check.
So that's 3 purple.
Yes.
1 failure, 1 threat. I shouldn't have done that, but I made the decision, so.
What does that look like? I would say, within the scenario, if you still want to physically to have grabbed hold, that's fine. It's just you're not able to pull or or release Beegax from out of this. But tell us what that looks like.
I have an idea, but it would kind of fuck us over, Alex. Just a little bit.
We got 5 more light side points. Don't forget about that.
Okay, that's true. I wish it had been versed. It would make this decision so much easier.
Don't we all? Well, for now, I mean, because of your failure on this roll, you're not able to pull him back. So just go, as you think about what to do next, just go ahead and give us a description of what it looks like as you like try and reach out. And
okay, Elo is going to, after seeing Beegax get sort of pulled over the edge of this truck and out of there onto the ground, leap out of the truck and even sort of scan the cave to be like, where the criff did he go? And then see him on the ground sort of writhing with this tentacle creature, run over and try to pull on him away from it, but it is just it's got him good. It's wrapped around him pretty tightly, so they're unable to pull him away.
it is a PC slot.
Beegax is getting pulled on by now Elo and the creature, the tentacle. And instinctively, he's panicking, obviously. And he's gonna use his upper limbs now. He's gonna, I'd say the leg that didn't have the gun was the one that's pulled, if you allow it to be that one.
Sure, yeah.
And the one that has the gun, the other leg, he's gonna toss his gun up towards his top hand and aim down and shoot, if I can. Shoot the tentacle off of my leg.
Hell yeah, very cool. Yeah, please do. That is ranged light. You are engaged, so that is going to be 2 red and a purple.
Whoa! What the hell?
Yeah, it is very close, and it is a bad boy.
Okay, here you go. You get him sweet dice. Oh no! So 4 advantage.
Oh.
3 failures.
So we get all the light side points, and we're gonna roll crap. That's the balance of the universe.
That's the balance right there. Okay, you fire this disruptor pistol. It's sort of like ricocheting off of into the ground and off of the vehicle as you fire, and you can see this thing. It seems to be coming, and now that you've turned around and looked at it, it seems to be coming up from out of the ground, as if coming out of the sand, and it looks sort of like a big snake with tentacles, and its mouth is like that. It seems to be pulling you towards it, into the place where it is sticking up out of the sand.
This sounds terrifying. I can't move, right? Because I'm restrained or whatever.
Yeah,
I can't move.
You can do an athletics check to see if you can get out.
What's the difficulty for this?
It is 3 purple, so hard.
That's much better than 2 reds. Get me out! 3 disadvantage, or 3 what are they called? Threats.
3 threats, but you fail to escape.
Yeah, nothing, no successes.
Okay, now you had 4 advantages, which is such a shame that you weren't able to hit, because that would have triggered your a critical thing with your weapon. But 4 advantages is still pretty good. So is there anything you want to do with that?
If you'll allow it, as this thing is pulling me closer, and I'm shooting, and I'm trying to get out, Griff. I'd like to look up, and if I can, I'd like to be able to grab onto a section of the truck, because it is treads, as we've established, so that on my next turn, I could get a blue dice when trying my athletics check.
I love it. Yes, that's cool. Yeah. So you're grabbing on as it's pulling you underneath the truck. Yeah, very cool. All right, it is this creature's turn. So you can feel it pulling and tightening around your midsection as you're struggling to get out, and you take 2 strain and 1 wound. It is just going to attempt to pull you closer into its maw, and it's hissing, and more tentacles are starting to come out now, and shooting out around it from underneath the vehicle, sort of blossoming up to arc into the actual cabin of the truck. Verse is going to look and see what's happening. She's just gonna go Beegax, and she's gonna grab the rifle, and so she's gonna attempt to take a shot at this thing. 1 success and 2 threats. She rolls over into a prone position, grabs the rifle. It's smoking and sort of sputtering, sparks in the place where Beegax hit it. She fires, and it is going to do some damage. It hits the tentacle that is grabbing Beegax. She's trying to blow this off to free. And then we are to the top of the round. It is a PC slot.
I'll try and shoot the tentacle as well.
Okay.
From prone position.
Yeah, you're still immobilized, so you can't take maneuvers. At the top of your turn, you can attempt another athletics check to get out, but I need you to take that. I need you to take that damage again. That 2 strain, 1 wound.
What the hell? Is it every one of my turns?
Yeah, it's at the top of the victim's turn. Yeah.
Well, now it's getting bad. Okay, yeah, gotta get out. Athletics check first.
It is a hard check. Yeah, 3 purple.
3 purples. Yeah. Ooh, oh, that's better. 1 success, 2 threats.
So you're able to break away. Tell us what that looks like. How you're able to break away from this thing.
After Verse's disruptor rifle fires, so it gets kind of charged, so there's a piece of it that's hanging on, kind of a loose tooth, barely there. And Beegax kind of one swift motion, kicks his leg up, kind of doesn't rip the tentacle, but causes the creature great pain, and it rears back its little snake head. The tentacle pulls off, and he's gonna scuttle backwards with his 2 legs, and uses both his hands to take a shot with the disruptor pistol as he's still on the floor.
I picture this creature shrieking, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, it's definitely, it's shrieking and hissing and making all kinds of noise, especially when it gets hit, for sure.
Future Ian, add in some sound effects.
Quick, we should all do some Foley.
What the?
Okay, so we'll say you used a maneuver to get away, so you're no longer taking that penalty. And please make a ranged light. This would be now at short range, I imagine. So that is 1 difficulty. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 red.
That's it?
Yeah, 1 red.
I gotta get in range. I gotta get out of this short band here. Oh!
Oh no. Oh no.
Despair? Is it a despair?
Despair.
Where's Dice J?
And 5 advantage.
What the fuck? Oh, despair is real bad.
That's a crit, and we gotta respect that crit.
Do we though? Do we really have to?
Okay. Let's see.
Let me tell you what I feel the most despair about this is me. It's I shoot, I miss, and it grabs me again. I think that's the biggest.
I like that. Mechanically, it can't grab you again. I think that's almost too much. But I want to say your weapon jams.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So your weapon jams at this moment, and it's the charge pack dies or something. And you do have some more ammo for it, but it is in the truck.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
Griff. And he looks up, and this thing is just tentacles flying around. Camera cuts to, as Beegax looks up to the truck, a bag with the little packs in them. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I can't do anything else.
Then it is to a PC slot, but you are free now. You are no longer ensnared or immobilized.
Seeing Beegax get released, Elo is going to take a stance, pull out their disruptor pistol, and with 2 hands fire. And I have a question. Is this creature in front of the truck or behind the truck? Could we get in the truck and fucking go, or is this creature in our way?
I think it's behind, and also its tentacles are blooming out of underneath the truck. So it's got us covered.
Yeah, we can just say it's behind the truck. Yeah, this action is taking place at the back of the truck. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Elo is going to yell at Beegax, and while they're firing at this thing, get in the truck, and hopefully we can get in this and go, and hopefully it's not fast. I don't know. But they are going to fire.
Got it. Okay, please do. I would say you are also in short range with this, and it's sort of like writhing around. I'm going to add a black die to your roll. So the difficulty for your check, Jamie, to fire is going to be a red and a black.
One threat.
Just one threat. Wow, the rolls are really terrible right now. Well, what does this look like, you firing around?
Well, they're not going to hit this creature, but I picture the sparks flickering off of the cave walls around this creature, so it's got like flashes coming from all these different sides as Elo is yelling at Beegax.
So Beegax, you obviously hear this. There's even over the firing and stuff, get in the truck. From above, there seems to be a break in the rock wall from above the truck somehow, and coming out of it, slithering out of it, are some more tentacles above the truck as well. So I am just going to slip another one of these things here in at the end.
Do you want to start a new game? Is that why you're doing this? Are you done? Are you tired of these characters?
We're done with Star Wars. We don't need any of these threads tied.
So this other one this one under the truck is not ready to let go of its prey, and it's going to try and attack Beegax one more time. It's going to come out of the truck a little bit more, leaving itself more exposed as it moves over to Beegax, and that is only one success and one advantage. So that is going to be 5 damage that can eat up by your soak, and once again you are ensnared around in it. Verse is going to try and take a shot again at this thing, and she's just going to yell, "Hold still! I got it!" So she fires, is able to hit this thing again with the disruptor rifle, and then this other set of tentacles is going to move down and try to grab Elo. And that's a success. Elo, these tentacles swirl down and like wrap around your arms, sort of like begin to lift you up out of the truck. That is going to be 6 damage. And then it is to a PC slot.
And I'll go and grab, so I'll take my 1 damage, 2 strain. I'm at 2 strain left, so I have to get free. Okay. We're gonna burn another light side point. I know that.
That's what they're there for.
There's no two buts about this. But I would like to burn a light side point to get free and also perform a kind of, I guess you call it a sequence of events. So I don't know if you'll allow this. So let me.
Okay, if it's cool enough, I'll allow it.
Let me present them.
Okay.
So Beegax frees himself, crawls onto the truck, sees Elo being lifted by the second set of tentacles coming from the opening in the ceiling of the tunnel, and he looks around on the back of the truck and sees a canister of some kind. Doesn't know what it is. He's just gonna look at it, see the hole, and if you want me to roll a check for this, I can, where he's gonna grab it, toss it up into the hole, and try shooting at it.
Oh, okay. And so this is some kind of like incendiary device.
He doesn't know what it is. I'll leave it up to you, whatever it is.
Okay. Got it. Well, what about this? First of all, I like that, and I'm willing to allow that. I think instead of grabbing some unknown canister, you grab the charge packs, and you can pull one of them out and flip that and use that as an incendiary device, making ammo more scarce for you, but certainly being able to blow that up is some sort of like energy explosion.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're flipping a light side point, and I'm gonna need you to roll me a ranged light we'll say that this is all within short distance, so a difficulty of 1, but upgraded. So a 1 red die,
Okay.
and you are free. You're able to be free. With spending this light side point, yeah, you can do this.
Well, because I don't want to take 2 strain and be at 0. Oh, thank God. Okay. 4 success, 2 blanks.
Excellent. The damage is 8. You had 4, so that's 12 damage. Yeah, nicely done. Okay, just give me a follow-up on what that looks like grabbing that ammo and then throwing it up.
So he crawls into the truck, sees Elo being lifted, looks to the objects on the truck as he sees the second hole with the tentacles coming out of it, and he sees the bag of charge packs, grabs one,
Okay.
Underhand tosses it up into the tunnel, looks at the pistol and remembers that it jammed earlier, and sees whatever indicator shows you have just a little bit of charge left. And he's like, ah, and slow motion, braces one arm while holding the other one and fires, and it lets out the weakest pulse of disruptor energy, a bit of it, and it flies perfectly, hitting the pack in when it's just inside the center of the tunnel, and then it's like a green burst of energy that fills up Bomberman style, fills up the tunnel. And a little bit of extra comes out of the tunnel outwards to burn some of the parts of the tentacle that are coming out and holding Elo.
Yeah, you hear a screech, and this happens. Your ammo is used up for this, but the tentacles still cling to Elo, but there is now a green explosion that is now rippling plasma style across the ceiling here and causing this creature to scream in pain.
I've been slimed.
Excellent. It is a PC slot.
Well, this thing has grabbed Elo by their arms.
Oh, yes, that reminds me. I'm sorry. You can make an athletics check, but I need you to take 1 wound and 2 strain.
Ooh! 1 success, 1 triumph, and 1 threat.
Oh, goodness.
It's getting better. 2 crits, yay!
Yeah, that is a crit, and we always got to respect the crit. So you are able to get out from the grasp of this thing. Certainly, I think certainly the explosion helped, as it's now flailing and drops you. And Triumph, what do you want to do with that?
Okay, can I have it be that sort of as an after effect from this explosion, this creature is going to lose some tentacles, and Elo will fall with the tentacles still wrapped around them onto the ground?
Yeah, I think that works. Yeah, and now it is harder for this one to grab onto anything.
If I can, Elo is going to sort of aim up towards the sky and shoot at this snake octopus.
The difficulty is going to be 1 red die.
3 successes, 1 threat.
So your damage with the pistol, I think, is 10 plus the number of successes that you have. So 13. All right. This thing is not looking good after getting shot with disruptor pistols and and explosions and all that kind of thing.
Can I do one more thing?
Yeah. What is?
Only because I'm thinking that if this thing dies, it's going to fall on the truck. So Elo's going to hit the button to get this truck a-moving.
Hey, 2 out of the 3 of us are on it.
Exactly.
So, I mean...
Got it. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. Boom. You hit the truck and it starts going. Now it is to an NPC slot. Oh, you know what's going to happen. The one from underneath is going to grab on to the truck. Jamie's muted, but I could see you mouth, no!
I went, no!
Yeah, it's going to sort of like slurp its tentacles from underneath, are just going to like grab and pull itself up out of the ground, and now you can see the full sort of like bit of it as it emerges and pulls itself up into the back of this truck. It is just like a large snake the size of maybe like a couple of big dogs. It seems eyeless, and it's got this angry mouth and tentacles sort of like coming up out of it that seem to be like act as arms to grab things and pull them into its mouth. That's gonna be its turn to be able to pull that off. Now it's Traverse. She's gonna shout, "Hey, wait!" And she's going to stand up and take aim at the one at the ceiling. She shoots this one on the ceiling. It explodes into a bunch of disgusting viscera that rains down on top of you as the truck begins to leave, and then we are to a PC slot.
Okay, so we're moving right, and she's behind us. First, we're gonna hang off the back of the truck and extend my other hand for her to like,
Come on, get over here!
like when she jumps off the truck, like she has an extra reach.
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah. Cool. She slings the rifle over her shoulder, and she's used her maneuver to basically like stand up from the prone that she was shooting in. But you see her like start heading in your direction, trying to like grab on for your outstretched hand. Would you like to do anything else?
Yeah, I'll use my other dug hand to shoot at the creature that's still alive.
Please do. We'll say now that it is in the truck with you, it is engaged and very close, and you also have another fellow PC who's very close to you as well. So we're gonna call that. It's gonna be 1 purple, 2 red.
We are not amused. But we have a triumph
No way.
and 1 success, but 3 threats. Also, I guess in between we said that I got a charge pack to charge it up, or else I can't use it, right?
That's right. Yeah, you can't use it. Well, let's think about this. What you want to do? You can still beat it.
If I burn a light sight point, can I have said that I charged my gun? So
Yeah.
I don't want to waste a try.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, Jamie. I'm burning through all of our.
No, that's
light
what
sight
they're
points
for.
here.
You can say there'll be a charge pack left for sure. This is your last one. You stick it in, and a triumph. That's a crit. So
Yes.
you can. I mean, there should be some stuff on your disruptor pistol that tells you what you do if you get this crit off.
Vicious. Any critical injury results are changed to crippled unless result is more grievous.
Got it. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so you do this damage. It is hanging on, and that is vicious 4, which means it is multiplied for whatever the roll is. Do you want me to do it, or do you want to roll the D100s?
85.
85?
Yeah.
Guess what? You get to add 40 to that because vicious 4. So 85.
That's over 9,000.
Yeah, that's 120, 125. Knocked senseless. The target is staggered for the remainder of the encounter. Yeah, staggered is no actions for the round. So that is huge. So what does that look like? What does it look like staggering this thing?
So Beegax, like, he's gonna shoot, and he has his other hand extended for reverse, and he's like got the one hand pointed sideways, and with the pistol, and he sees the indicator in the back. It's like empty, and still hanging on one foot, uses his other foot to grab the pack, and he's like, "Oh, please!" And he opens, like, using his hand foot that's free, reaches in the bag and feels the one charge pack in there, slides it over to himself using his foot, loads it. takes the shot, and it's like a fresh pack, so it's like the first sip of a Slurpee, just full of flavor, but in this case full of plasma, disruptor plasma. Flies out, lighting up the cave behind it, and this thing's roaring and reaching out as Verse is running. The thing flies by her, catches it as it opens its mouth, and like maybe in the uvula, the back of its throat, just causes burn that disorients it to the point where, as it hits, the tentacles hit the cavern walls, and it's knocking its head against it, like senseless, trying to figure out what's going on. And our truck is still, and the truck is moving without a driver because all Elo did was hit the button, so the truck is just moving. There's nobody at the wheel.
I love it. I love it.
I picture like the area that we're in is sort of narrow, so it's just like bumping off the sides as it's like going through this ravine, you know?
Yeah, because no one's really driving the truck, it's just moving forward, so it's like, grrr, and it's like gaining speed, so it's just like, yeah, and it is still a PC slot.
This is crazy. Is the one that was from underneath still grabbed hold of the truck?
Yeah, I think it's in the truck with you right now. It spent its previous turn like pulling itself into there with you.
Then Elo is going to shoot on some of the tentacles that are grasping hold of the truck to try to get it to get out of this thing.
Okay, so you are gonna, because it's in there with you and it is engaged, it is going to be a pretty difficult check. It's that. Yeah, it is a purple and 2 red, but can I tell you, if you hit, it's over. If you can pull this shot off, it is donezo. What do you...
Use the force, Jaden.
What do you want to do?
That's right. We don't have any like close engagement weapons.
No, we are not a far engaged, and we're not
Not
a close
us.
engaged.
We are not your guys.
You're the just right engaged.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. And this isn't something that I could flip a light side point for.
You could to upgrade one of your die to a yellow.
I'm doing it.
Excellent. So I am looking at, we flipped the light side point. I am looking at now 2 light side, 4 dark side. Please upgrade one of your die to a yellow and take the shot.
1 success.
Oh, yes!
That's all I need, baby!
That's all you need! Awesome. So we got, oh man, this is so cool. Let me just set the scene before I hand it off to you, Jamie. There is a hover tread truck that is slowly accelerating and picking up speed, that is just bouncing in a crazy way off rocks and off the sides, scraping through this narrow tunnel as it is accelerating unmanned down this causeway. Verse is starting to pick up a sprint as she is running to Beegax's outstretched hand, who is holding on and also pointing up with a pistol, shooting at this creature that is now just exploded in viscera. And here in the sort of cockpit, in the seats, Elo stands in front of a writhing mass. And tell us what it looks like when you bring this thing down.
I picture this creature having like one main snake head with this like nasty mouth. And as it gets up onto the truck, it's gonna give like a very quick like jolt their head over to Elo as if they're going to attack. And Elo is just going to get it right through the throat, and you just see this thing's head explode and fall off of the truck.
Mwah! Ah, so very cool. Yeah, more gore, more viscera, like exploding out, that sort of like ash that burns up around a disintegrated being, organic matter that you have witnessed before. And Verse running makes it up to Beegax. Beegax, can you make me an athletics check? We'll call this...
No difficulty?
Yeah, we'll call this an average difficulty. You can have a blue die to this as you have sort of like set this up as a way of pulling someone in.
Oh, baby. 1 success, 4 advantage.
Nice. Yeah, you do. You grasp Verse as she makes her way up to the back of the truck. Boom, like that, forearm clasp. How do you pull her up?
Using my 2 leg hands, I pulled myself while still holding her onto the truck. Like I'm using my feet as leverage to pull me up, and I'm holding onto her at the same time, so there's no effort from her needed. It's just me pulling her up using my legs while holding with my upper limbs.
Very cool. And we are out of combat. There is definitely some like dust and debris and like gross bits from these creatures that are hanging on. Verse just kind of like looks up at Beegax and just says, thanks. And she's out of breath, sweating, and situates herself back in the truck.
Don't mention it.
And he limps to the front seat as this thing like takes the wheel, stabilizes the vehicle, looks at his body. As I have taken basically 5 points of wounds, I'm going to translate that to like the tentacles were gripping hard, so he's got bruises on his legs, and the consistent draining of health. It's like maybe there were some sort of scales or some sort of rough portions, almost like thorns or some sort of areas of these tentacles that did cuts. I'd say he's got some burns on his chest, and some of it's like soot on his clothing from the plasma explosion. But other than that, he's okay, and he just focuses on driving the vehicle, not saying a word.
Verse is just breathing heavy in the back. She looks to make sure Elo is doing okay. How is Elo doing?
Elo is, once Verse and Beegax are fully back on the truck and we're back to going towards our goal, I think Elo is first going to walk over to Beegax, look at Verse, and then try to do some sort of heal check on him.
Go ahead and give me a medicine check. How many wounds have you, like, are you below half your wounds there, Alex?
No, I'm 1 point above half.
1 point above half? Okay, so go ahead and...
Yeah, because my max is 12, I'm at 7.
Okay. Go ahead and make me an average medicine check.
But I will say my strain is at 2 of 11. Yeah, I took a lot of... That tentacle's no joke.
1 success, 3 advantage, and I also have 3 ranks of surgeon, so you would get 4.
That's right. And is that counting, is that ranks of surgeon also counting Barney?
Oh no, it's
Barney,
not counting
I forgot about Barney.
Because Barney gives you another rank for that.
So that's 5.
So I'm at 5. So it's 5 health?
You're back to
Oh my god, I'm full! Oh shit!
Yeah, Barney is sort of like whirling around and like whirling around Elo, and then notices that it's Beegax that they are sort of taking care of, and just like very cautiously you see the eyes like darting up as if sort of like a cautious animal, just sort of like doing the stitches and making the searchers, just like always watching Beegax to make sure that there isn't like a hand foot that's going to come and swap it away or anything.
Yeah. I'd say Beegax flinches a little, like winces, and he sees its like expressions, like its eyes, it's like sensors are super focused. He goes,
Look, I know we got off on the wrong foot there, Barney, but I'm not going to shoot you if you're patching me up. Be calm, all right? I'm not going to do anything. Just be a little gentle.
It seems to ease up a little bit, and the truck continues on in the strange silence of this tunnel. Verse says from the back, "When we get to Cjallysce'i, I want me and Creed's cut, and then I'm out."
You got it.
and then Beegax kind of just thinks to himself, this is just inner monologue. He thinks, yeah, she was out last time too. She came back.
What if she goes and tells the triumvirate, Alex?
Then that's fine. We'll be gone because we would have done our part already.
That's true.
Yeah,
We're getting the fuck out of here.
The vehicle bumbles along on its hover treads over the dark rock and sand of this planet's subterranean labyrinths. Our camera watches as the lights drive away, disappear, and slip into deep shadows, leaving us in darkness beneath the surface of Socorro. 」 . 」 . Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Respect the Crit, Empire's Edge. If you like what you heard, please consider supporting us by giving us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. It's a simple thing that will really help us grow the show, and we love to read your feedback. For more information about the show, visit @RespectTheCrit on Twitter and Instagram. Beegax is played by Alex Herrera, who you can find on Twitter @AEHerrera or on his Twitch channel, WadeWolf10. Elo is played by Jamie Lee-Bonés, who you can find on Instagram @jamielee.bones. I'm Ian Duncan, your GM and MC, and you can find me @idunks on Twitter and Instagram. The original music featured in the show is provided with permissions by a variety of artists and are linked in the show notes. Please support them by visiting their platforms to check out more of their work and tell them how much you like the show. The Star Wars role-playing system and books are published by Fantasy Flight Games. And remember, whatever the system, whether it's a miss or a hit, you always gotta respect the crit. Thank you very much, and may the Force be with you.
Have y'all ever had these all-dressed chips?
What?
Ooh.
What?
Humpty Dumpty.
Is that some East Coast knockoff?
Yes.
What is that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Get out of here. Get out of here
Got
with
more
that shit.
character, okay? More character.
More character.